I think The Rise of Skywalker, it doesn't answer anything. It's provocative, it asks questions, and it could mean a lot of different things. And I think that that's what was important to us. We didn't want to have a title that felt like it was telling you the story.
Bullshit.
Apologize.
Flat bullshit. Welcome to the Superfan Show. I am the Grendel. On my right,
The king of all rumors.
king of all rumors.
Here to take another crap on Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy and all her bullshit.
Yes, so Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams and many people associated with Star Wars are now telling us, that maybe some mistakes were made with The Last Jedi, although they vehemently defended it, don't forget that, and that all the things that are going to be in this new movie and how great this movie's going to be, and I want to take just this moment to explain the Molyneux cycle to anyone who's unfamiliar with it. If you're old enough to remember, there's this video game franchise called Fable, created by Peter Molyneux. And when he created the first one, he made a bunch of promises about what was going to be in it. Some people liked it, some people were disappointed that some of the stuff that he said was going to be there wasn't there. So around the time Fable 2 came out, he apologized for Fable 1 and said, yeah, I made a lot of mistakes with that one, but this one, we got it right. So people bought it, and then when it was at the end of its sales run and Fable 3 was out to come back, he actually, and this is a quote, Fable 2 was rubbish. He distances himself as far as he could, and that's what I feel like everybody associated with this shit show of a trilogy is doing right now. I think they finally realized that there were more old school Star Wars fans out there than they thought there were, and that people aren't just going to readily forgive them for the bullshit that was The Last Jedi and just blindly walk into the rise of the fucking bullshit. And please, don't go. Don't go. But we'll get to that in a moment. What were your impressions of all this stuff that's being said?
I find it some of the most challenging and most difficult storylines that they are trying to produce out of this movie. And I'm talking about the storylines as the bullcrap that they're laying down about who's going to be in the movie and what's going on and all the planning that's been going on. Kathleen Kennedy has become notorious about saying one thing and then doing something completely different. Now let's talk about, I'll give her grace on one, when she said that Princess Leia wasn't going to be in the next movie at all. They would just reference her. And yet here she is. She's in the trailer, for crying out loud, and that's fine. I don't mind seeing Carrie Fisher. Of course, the trailer's as much as I'm going to see Carrie Fisher when it comes to this movie. And J.J. Abrams, the artistic way of car salesmanship that this man is learning to do as he maneuvered between, I liked what Rian Johnson did. Matter of fact, I wish I had directed what Rian Johnson had directed. Really? And now, this movie, instead of being proud to connect it with The Last Jedi, this movie needs to stand alone on its own. Which is fine if you're not a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't remember George Lucas saying Return of the Jedi has to stand on its own. So maneuvering between all the crap that these guys are trying to lay down to lure you guys back in to the theater one more time so they can capitalize on billions of dollars in this last film. And I would love to see this movie sit right where Han Solo did. $300 million.
Exactly. And speaking of J.J. Abrams, now that he's trying to, sell you on this new movie, let's go back to some of the things he said to defend The Last Jedi, because I really enjoyed, I thought this gave me a really good look into J.J. Abrams' head. When he said that their problem isn't Star Wars, their problem is being threatened. They're being men, of course. If you are someone who feels threatened by women and feels the need to lash out at them, you'll find an enemy in Star Wars.
Oh, really?
For the last time, JJ, the problem isn't the women in your movies. The problem are the movies themselves.
Now,
I just want to continue real quick because he goes on.
The thing is, there's a lot of people that have said that quote was taken out of context. These are his very own words.
Exactly, and then I love that he going on with that. I love this blatantly baseless comment that he makes when he says that people likely had a problem with Princess Leia when the original Star Wars came out. People likely? J.J. Abrams, you likely have only had 2 original thoughts in your entire fucking life, that being Lost and Cloverfield. Now, I don't have anything to substantiate that claim. It's a baseless claim, but fuck it. I guess we can just do that now. And if you've ever gone to a Star Wars convention, you saw plenty of Ahsoka's, Mara Jade's, Princess Leia's, Fuck, you even saw that one female bounty hunter. You know, they didn't never do anything with her in the movies. You saw Ventress. I don't think that's the problem, but it's a really easy defense to try and fall back on. But now that we're moving on to this new film, we don't hear any of that talk. We hear Palpatine's laugh. Fuck you. I mean, if we could just shit on when George Lucas did one last time, let's resurrect Palpatine, or make you think we're going to resurrect him. Because you had an idea of what Palpatine, what his role in this movie might be, didn't you?
Back, because of the amazing brain that's underneath this crown, I said a long time ago that Rey's fighting style was very similar to Palpatine's in Revenge of the Sith. So I believed that the issue of Rise of the Skywalker is we got a Kylo Ren representing Skywalkers, and we have Rey representing Senator Palpatine, the granddaughter of Palpatine. Now you heard it here first. That's the biggest rumor of them all. And what was interesting to me, though, is how Mr. Palpatine, or I should say the actor, said he didn't even record any new laughs. You know, don't be disappointed on how much he's in this film. Which is interesting because it seems like it's the same thing with Luke Skywalker. You know, don't be surprised if he's only in this as a little blip of a Force ghost, and then move on to the next thing. And you can listen to all the rumors on other people's channel over and over again about how exactly Mark Hamill's going to end up showing up and basically officiate the lightsaber duel or whatever. It doesn't matter. The problem is that they have created such a mess. Yeah. And I love her quote that this Skywalker title, all you YouTubers that are working so hard at trying to crack the code and figure out what these titles mean, she says out of her own mouth, this title doesn't mean anything, or it could mean everything. That's the way she talks. Out of both sides of her mouth. Both sides of her mouth. And it's ridiculous.
Classic politician response, such as blaming Russian trolls for amplifying the backlash to The Last Jedi. Or my favorite excuse that has come out of this fucking branch of Disney is Star Wars fatigue. That's why Solo tanked. That's not why Solo tanked. And you fucking know it. Solo tanked because The Last Jedi was shit. And this is promising. Everybody out there, we don't usually ask for you to do this, but please, share this video. Get out there and fucking open your mouth and talk about it, and let's tank Star Wars Episode 9, because if you go to the video game world, fans have done it before. Yep. Titanfall was a pile of shit that was sold. It was a half-finished game. Titanfall 2 came out, and it was much better, far superior, but it bombed because of the backlash of Titanfall 1. Battlefront, same thing happened. Yep. Battlefront 2 failed to meet their expectations. It shows that we have the power. Vote with your wallet, because that's the only thing they're going to listen to, and that's why they're kissing your ass right now. Yep. They just want to get you in the theater. They don't give a shit if you like the movie. They just want your money. And I understand, if you want to see it, if you want to see the shit show, if you want to go, well, I've never seen a monkey fuck a football, but yeah, I fucking might watch it for a few seconds. If you want to see it, then wait 2 weeks. Just wait 2 weeks. That's right. Just wait. Just a little bit. Just to show them that you have the power and you're not going to put up their bullshit movies or their bullshit excuses. Because I fucking hated The Last Jedi. But I absolutely love strong female characters. So the fact that motherfucker J.J. Abrams wants to try to lump somebody that just looks at a movie and says this movie fails. You can't tell me that movie had a vision when Luke Skywalker tells Rey, I'm going to teach you 3 lessons, but you have to watch the deleted scenes on the fucking Blu-ray disc to get the 3rd lesson. And realistically, it's the only real lesson he teaches her. It's the only thought-provoking moment of their entire fucking time together. But he wants to lump somebody that notices critical flaws with their films into the same group as people yelling at the internet, women should be in the fucking kitchen. They just want to lump us all together because it's an easy defense. It's an easy way to say Rian Johnson fucked up, made a shitty movie, and we shouldn't have hired him, and maybe we should have had a plan from the get-go. So don't fall for it. That's all I gotta say. Don't fall for it.
And if you're a YouTuber and you're like, but I don't want to miss out on all the action, I got videos to put up. You can do a whole video about how you're not going to see this movie. Because nobody needs to go run out and see the movie. Let the movie tank for the first couple weeks and then go out and see the movie. And there's going to be people that are out there that are gonna do a video, because not everybody's gonna listen to us. They should. King of all rumors right here. But I'm here to tell you something. You could watch their video and get all the information about, was this movie worth it? And then if come to find out, they're like, this movie sucked. It didn't go anywhere. This didn't match up with anything. They act like The Last Jedi never existed. And they prove the point we're trying to make. Then not only will you've just saved yourself some money, because maybe you're just going to decide, I'm going to wait for it to come out to Redbox, or I'm going to watch it on Net or the Disney Channel, or whatever the heck you choose to watch it. At least you will have proven a point. Because Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams, and I like J.J. Abrams. All right, I was a big fan of Laws, a big fan of, Super, anything that he's worked on, I've really enjoyed it. But I want to tell you, you're full of crap. I'm sorry, you were full of crap. And to try to justify the mistakes that were made in The Last Jedi by blaming it on the fans, that's what pissed everybody off. We don't know what we like. We just don't like this one element, and you delegitimize anything else that the fans were saying, especially that atrocity situation, the piss poor editing that you did on that movie in the first place, and the portrayal of Luke Skywalker, which I could go on and on until Christ comes back, and probably
who was Jewish, by the way.
Who? I couldn't say enough about how just ridiculous Luke Skywalker's portrayal was, which went against everything else that he had done from Star Wars all the way to The Force Awakens, which we didn't get much there. But it's just undefendable, and that's what's ridiculous. And they're pandering as best they can to any Star Wars fan that's still willing to tolerate this stuff. And to be honest, I was shocked at the reception she got at Star Wars Celebration.
There's always going to be sycophants.
I was really shocked that there weren't a little bit more booze or frustration from the fans because of the way they chose to deal with the fans when it comes to Star Wars.
Exactly, and it's as Forbes said, though, as long as it's got Star Wars on it, fans will come, and that's what they're expecting. They think you're sheep. They think just because it's going to be an event, you're just going to show up. But I do have two final points to make.
And if you deny it, look up the Forbes article online. They believe the only reason this movie is going to lose money is because of other movies that are coming out around the same time, not because of Star Wars fans. And as they quote and said, it's Star Wars. They'll come out and see it anyways. It's a spectacle.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a spectacle, it's a piece of crap with a bunch of little spectacles of glitter on it.
I did have two final points on this subject. If you enjoy these new Star Wars movies, let's say you didn't see the original movies, or you saw them on VHS because you're a lot younger, or maybe you started your Star Wars journey with the prequels. If you enjoy these movies, that's fine. There's nothing wrong. You like what you like. You do you. Chances are, if you enjoy these movies, you're not even watching this video anyway, or you didn't click on it to begin with. This is for the people that love this franchise and hate seeing it disrespected by people that had nothing to do with creating it. And that's where I like when Kathleen Kennedy said she doesn't feel she has to cater to anybody. Miss Kennedy, this franchise was worth the $4 billion Disney paid for it because of people like us. Because we went to the theater, we bought the merchandise, we bought the books, we bought the comics. So yes, you do have a responsibility to a fan base that creates a franchise and props it up and turns it into this giant, megalithic thing that it is now. And, if you're upset with the last movie, and this is something that, really fueled their argument, don't send them threatening Twitters. Don't threaten people. Don't do shit like that, please, because it delegitimizes your argument. As soon as you resort to that, you could make the greatest point there is. But the minute you say some dumb, ignorant shit, or you threaten someone's life or their children or some dumb shit like that, then you're not worth listening to. You're just an angry idiot yelling into a vacuum. And the second point I had was, we hear all this threat of women, and that's why fans didn't like it, because they're threatened by women. But it's very interesting to see how men are portrayed in these new Star Wars films. Han Solo's a deadbeat father that takes off, just leaves his whole family. Luke Skywalker is a failure that screwed up and then went off to an island to die somewhere rather than stay behind and fix the problem that he caused. By that note, Black Panther is more of a Jedi than Luke Skywalker, because even Black Panther in his movie says, I've got to fix the problem that we started. Poe is a hothead. Now, granted, the general could have explained her plan to him, but he's a hothead that goes off recklessly. So, to be honest, I don't see the point in... I think a point can be made.
Finn's a deserter.
Yeah, Finn's a deserter, traitor,
Kylo
a coward.
Ren throws temper tantrums.
Kylo Ren's a temper tantrum. Yeah, exactly. So, I think a case can be made that men are treated pretty shitty in these new Star Wars films. So, why is that, JJ? Kathleen, explain that to me.
I guess Snoke and Hux were the only two men to look up to in this film. Especially since half of Snoke's body's on the floor. Yeah! More stories and plots that didn't go anywhere. I think that was pretty much a mic drop. You need to share this video, and you need to subscribe to our channel if you want more Star Wars bashing content.
Yep, because you know what they say. The only true person that can hate is one who has loved. And we used to love Star Wars. But we hate this disfigured abomination that is lumbered out of the Disney factory. And the only thing I gotta say is thank God Disney didn't start the Marvel Universe. Marvel started it. And that's why Marvel is where it is right now, and Star Wars is where it is right now. Because Disney has no fucking idea what they're doing with this property. That show, and you know, the only proof you need to that fact is that they gave EA the fucking license to make Star Wars games.
Which is a video for another time. And that's a good mic drop right there. Subscribe for more Star Wars bashing content. The king of all rumors is out.
I'm the Grendel.
We'll see you next time.